Good afternoon, everybody. This is Standing Bear Thunderheart, aka Bear, and today, in this special YouTube video, this is actually more of a phone call that I have with a friend of mine that's a guest caller today. And his name is Draven Midnight Stone. Now let me introduce you, let me tell you a little bit about him. I met him several years ago back in San Diego when him and I used to be, let's just say, for lack of a better term, co-workers in the maintenance department for the school district, La Mesa Spring Valley School District. And let's just say that it was actually introduced by some other co-workers. We actually got introduced from another co-worker of ours, let's just say. And to make a long story short, he's a website designer, and he's also an inspiring musician that's moving up in the world. And at the same time, too, he is definitely a friend of mine that we had an on and off relationship for a while, for a few years, but then we've got back together a few years later. He's been a student of mine in the shamanic arts, and I have basically, just as equal, been a student of his in the martial arts. So, without further ado, here he is. Within the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to have this conversation with Draven Midnight Stone. Draven, welcome to the call.
Hello?
Hello, Draven.
Yes, I'm here. It's a little staticky, but I can hear you.
Okay, good, good. Well, welcome to the call. So, how's everything going for you today?
Everything is going great. Life is extremely busy these days, so there's not much time for leisure.
Yeah, because of the fact that you're doing computer designs and trying to get your music career off the ground, basically.
Web design takes a lot of my time. I've been doing that since out of high school, and music even before then. I was sort of I was destined to be a musician from the womb. During in utero, I come from a very Christian background, and my biological father, he was a reverend, and he had taken up a job to work in a church in Oklahoma City ages and ages ago. And while I was in my mother's womb during the pregnancy, I was constantly sung to by choir ladies. So before I even spoke any words, I was singing when I was birthed into the world, or born, I should say.
Oh, wow. See, this is actually the first time I actually heard this, guy. So you're hearing this the first time I'm hearing this as well.
It's an exclusive, everybody.
Exactly. Even for me, so welcome to the club. Well, definitely oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, finish up.
I wanted to chime in a little bit about how you and I had first met. We were on the job working at the school district in East County, San Diego.
Yeah.
And actually, you were the first person that I met on the job. I had approached you with a query about my check-in manager for the day.
Yeah.
We started talking about, first I was given warning that this character was somebody that's a little shifty, a little shady. And your response was, yes, that guy's a coyote. And from as soon as we started speaking there, it kind of, my ears raised up a little bit, and I became very interested in what you had to say. Not only because you were so different than everybody else in the district, it's the way you carried yourself, the tone of voice, how you interacted with one another, with everybody on the job. It was a refreshing relief, because most of those other employees were very parasitic. The entire school district seemed to be like a vampiric organism.
Yeah.
Where all these people would just fight and scheme and plan against
Oh yeah.
My kids, those kids, they don't realize that they're being affected by this psychic vampirism because they just don't know any better. They're children. They haven't had their worldview opened up for them yet.
Exactly the point. And I mean, the thing about it is, and I mean, you know, I was been in the district on and off for about like good 3 years, and I've seen some stuff. But then, of course, once I really started really delving in really deep within shamanism, and started learning the ways of how the natives saw different animal totems and different things like that. Especially when I was first living with my former teacher at the time, along with Rainbow. That's when, you know, I really started seeing right through a lot of things after I got back from Mexico, especially during that time.
There's a lot of static and clearly make out what you're saying. As far as the animal totem goes, yeah, coyote was the first totem that I came in contact. And then shortly after that, we had a contact that actually used to do a shamanic healer. Spider. I took the Robin Spider back.
Hold on, David. Wow, we're having really. Oh, we're having a real strong static here. Normally doesn't happen with this phone. Oh, on your end.
Yeah, my
Oh, okay.
It's a little clearer now.
Okay, cool. Sorry, we'll repeat what you were saying now.
Okay, animal totems, first animal medicine that we came into contact, or I came into contact with consciously, was coyote medicine.
Yeah.
Which was like, you know, the trickster.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, they would scheme and play game, you know, try to outdo each other with the nasty, trying to screw each other over to get coworkers fired or whatnot, instead of just working together, being focused on the job, doing your job well, and taking care of the children. So, shortly after, when I didn't realize that you were a shaman when we first met. I went, oddly enough, a couple weeks into the job, maybe it was my second, I was having a tough time adjusting, and I remember driving to the job location, then opening up my heart to the universe and saying, Creator, I need some guidance here, I need some help, I need a teacher, send me a shaman. So that night, I ran into our then mutual friend, Spider-Man.
Right.
And we started chatting about some of the more etheric realms. And he's like, oh, here's this card. And on the card says, standing by the sucker heart, shamanic healer. And that was that night. Talk about synchronicity. So, I was astounded by how quickly the universe reciprocated and just gave me what I asked for. It's like a lot of the other either Western or Eastern religions, they focus on prayer. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was praying to the Creator to send me a sign or a signal, like with the most, a very pure intent in my heart, because that's what I needed at the time. And Creator just gently gave me the information I needed, and then after I had that card, I didn't know you as your name that we used in the school district. It was just there. It was standing there from then on out. And it has always been since then. It went on like 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Oh yeah. And I mean the thing about it is too, now it's even like now we both have grown so much, you know, whether we're together or apart, it just seems like how we've grown so much from each other, and at the same time from how, you know, we've been traveling around different parts of, you know, the U.S. and things like that. So that's been a great thing.
out as this low life who doesn't have much skill or any awareness, and then the deeper you get along into the story, you're equipped with tools and protection and weaponry and power to help, you know, defend yourself or achieve your goals. And that's exactly how I feel my experience has been, where, you know, when I first started out, I was just a walking ball of nervous energy. I was afraid of everything. I was an agoraphobe for about 18 months when I met you. And when we finally got into talking, you offered to do the cleansing for me. We did the cleansing ritual at my childhood park. And that was a very, very, very powerful experience. That was, as I recall, that was the first time I've ever had silence in my head. And from then on forward, just the experiences have become more and more fascinating. The synchronicity is becoming more and more in alignment. My ability to sort of peek into the future and predict what's happening next has just amplified more and more so.
And at the same time, oh, go ahead. Sorry. Well, let me put it like this too. You know, also, folks, when I was also helping him along the way with as far as the clearing and the cleansing and so forth, I of course took martial arts many years before I met Draven. So he wasn't he wasn't really the first instructor, but what he did was along the way, he just helped tutor me in the techniques and how to clean it up a bit. You know, sure, I was always good. I was good at what I did. At the same time, what he was showing me was certain things and within the Kempo arts as how to do things a little bit better. So that's basically how he was tutoring me in the martial arts in that way.
That's better. Okay. To follow up on the martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
I started studying at 10 with Mandarin Chinese Kung Fu. I was like a